Hi, welcome to lecture number 17. In the previous lecture, we had solved a problem, but I have not showed the flowchart. So I want to show you the flowchart of the last lecture problem that we have solved, and then I want to give you a new task. I'll explain the new task, how to solve it, about the solution. I'll be talking about it, and then I'll show the flowchart. And then in the next lecture, I'll be solving that new task step by step. So the last lecture problem was, just let me get the laser pointer. Okay, so the last lecture problem was that I have to sum the numbers from 1 to some upper limit, whatever that is, that will be a user input, and then I'll sum the even numbers. So I had initialized the sum is equal to 0 and number is equal to 1, and then asked for the upper limit by the user, and then the while condition. In the while condition, if number is less than equal to upper limit was the condition. If that is no, if the number is greater than the upper limit, it means the condition is false. So it means it will exit the while loop. So the while loop will be exited and the result will be displayed. If it happens in the first loop, so it means the number is even 0, or the number is if the number is 0, so nothing will happen in the while loop, so the result will be 0, the sum will be 0. This is just an extra detail about what we talked earlier in the earlier lecture of while loop, that it is possible for a while loop that it may not execute even once, it may execute 0 times. So this is important. Now the next part is that we have to look of, if the condition is true, we have to look at the another condition, if the number is even. If the number is even, then we will add number to the sum, and then we will add 1 to the number. If it is not even, so this block of code will not be executed. It will add 1 to the number, and then the process will be repeated unless this number and upper limit condition becomes false and this while loop is exited. And it is not an infinite loop. The reason is that this number is incremented by 1, and this number is being used in this while condition. So at one point in time, of course, the condition will become false. Okay, done. I think so. This is what I wanted to talk about. Okay, next the task is that the problem statement is that we have to calculate the factorial of a given number. The number will be given by a user. Suppose the number is 10, so we have to find the 10 factorial. The general formula of a factorial is, we know that n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 3 to 1. So for 10, it will be 10 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so there is a repetition, there is a pattern, so we could use the while loop. So if we see that there is a repetition of multiplication of numbers, a loop is needed to write a program. So we have to multiply the number with the next decremented number. So we'll start with 10, and then we will decrease the number by 1, and we'll multiply it with the previous ones. So the answer will be the answer, we will declare the answer, assign the answer value to be 10, and then we will decrease the number, whatever the user number will be, input will be, by 1. So the number will become 9. So the answer will be, so the solution, the answer will be multiplied by the previous the decremented number, which is 9. So 10 multiplied by 9. So whatever the result is, then it will be multiplied again by the decremented number, and the number will be decremented in each loop. When we will be solving it in the next lecture, it will become much more clear. Nevertheless, look at the flow chart. So if you look at the flow chart, so we start with factorial is equal to 1. So we then the user input the number while the number is greater than 1. If the number is greater than 1, so the condition is true. If the condition is true, the factorial will become factorial multiplied by number. So subtract 1 from number. So I know this might seem a little bit difficult because I have not solved the problem and I'm showing you the flowchart before, but usually this is the process. This comes in the hierarchy first. You have to make the flowchart first, and then you have to write actual code. So flowchart is to design the program. So this is the designing part. We are trying to find out the logic, how to solve a problem. So this is the logical part. So let me explain it again. So the number is the user input. Say suppose that is 5. So and we have initialized the factorial. The factorial is the answer, the final answer, which will be 5, which we need to be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, so the factorial is initialized to 1. The number is 5. Suppose a user is inputted 5. Now we will look at the condition while number is greater than 1. Of course, number is greater than 1 because the number is 5, the input is 5. So if that is true, then we will find the factorial. Factorial is initialized to 1. So 1 multiplied by 5, the number is 5, so it will be 5. So then subtract 1 from number, so the number will become 4. So look to the condition, 4 is greater than 1. So now yes, so the new factorial will become, the previous factorial was 5 multiplied by 4, so it will become 20. So the new factorial is 20. Now again subtract 1 from the number, so it will become 3. So the 3 is greater than 1, yes. So the new factorial is 20, the previous value of factorial, multiplied by 3, which is 60. Now again subtract 1 from the number, so the number will become 2. 2 is greater than 1, yes. So factorial is equal to whatever the value of factorial was, which is 60, which was 60 multiplied by 2, now 120. Now subtract again 1 from number, and the number has become 1. So 1 is greater than 1, no. So the while loop will be exited. So what has become the factorial value? The value has become 120. Now display the result. So the final value will be 120 for the number 5. 5 factorial is 120. It is as simple. I hope so it makes sense. In the next lecture we will be hard coding it. And remember, this is the way usually how programs work. You have to make the flowchart first and then create the code, then write the code. Thank you.